That's what people don't understand. You don't know why you want it so bad. Why are you in the gym every day? Why are you trying to eat that fucking chicken breast every single day? It tastes like shit. You could be having a pizza, enjoying, your meals, but instead you are fucking eating a chicken breast. There is a reason why you want that. And it's not just because you want. Balance is only made for someone who wants to be mediocre or average. Balance isn't meant for you. I've tried doing the whole balance thing when it came to my goals, all the ambitions that I have for myself, getting an amazing physique. I've tried the whole balance thing, and that only gave me semi-great results. Like, it got me to a certain point, but it was only until I took it serious where I really started to get to that next level, that exceptional level. I started getting exceptional results when I started cutting out the balance. And it's hard to do. Not being balanced and being fully locked in all the time for years on end, that's hard to do. But it's a lifestyle change. That's all it is. It's a lifestyle change. So, I mean, for example, like there are people, like take you for example. If you watch this video, you follow me, you're probably into fitness and health. There was probably a time and point where you didn't care about health, you didn't care about the gym, you maybe didn't care about how you were eating, maybe some of you did. And then all of a sudden, you start transforming yourself and wanting to go to the gym and wanting to eat better until it eventually became a lifestyle, And being fully locked in all the time, having no balance in your life, is again just another lifestyle. A lot of people will try to tell you that it's a sad way to live, you're unhappy, how do you live like that? When do you ever relax? But if you truly love this shit like I do, you love self-improvement, you love chasing after your goals, you love spending every single moment of time focusing on your goals, if you truly love doing it, you will realize that that is what brings you happiness. The sacrifice, the effort that you put towards your goals, saying no to your friends, even cutting off friends, cutting off family members, doing shit like that, you find joy in it, you find satisfaction in it because those are the people that are only holding you back from getting to what you truly want in life. When your goal is about self-improvement and maximizing every single aspect of your life, and that's the way you live, you don't give a fuck. You can give a flying fuck about who comes in or out of your life because that's your main goal. And a lot of you guys might not even agree with me with this point, but if that's true, then you just don't want it as bad as me, and that's cool too. There's a lot of people who live great fucking lives, great lives with just chilling and drinking on the weekend, having the beers with the guys, not focused on the goals all the time. Like, you can live a great life like that, and if that's you, that's totally cool, bro. Like, congrats to you. You're living life how you want to live life. I know when it comes to me, the only thing I care about are my goals. But a lot of you people are letting other people persuade you in having other goals that don't make you happy. So you might be like me, because I've dealt with this shit before. You might be like me, but you might be surrounded by a whole bunch of people in your environment who likes to drink, maybe do some drugs, maybe go out to raves and parties. So they might persuade you to going and doing some of those things. And you might be like, yeah, you know what? I have been working a little too hard. It's been tough lately. Let me go relax a little bit. So you try to do it, but you can't seem to fucking get out of your mind about working harder. You can't seem to fucking relax. You can't seem to stop and enjoy the moment at that rave, at that party, getting fucking drunk and enjoy it. But instead you keep some reason thinking about your goals, your ambitions, how you should start working harder. Every single time you're drunk with the guys, every single time you're high with the guys, you can't fucking get your mind off of it. I know, because I'm the same way. I have a lot of guys who love doing that in it. That's great for them. That is great for them because that makes them happy and that's cool. They don't have the same ambitions as me. That's cool. Enjoy your life. But I'll try to, I try to just experiment with different things. So I go join them. But every single time I'm faded, I'll smoke some weed or I'm drunk, I can't stop thinking about my goal. I can't stop thinking about it. And it's only when you finally realize that, the people who have lived this life is not meant for you. It's only when you actually sit down with yourself and realize that that is not you, when you actually really start to take off and succeed as well. Because, you know, at the end of the day, when I would drink and smoke, the day after, it would make me feel like shit, and I would mess up on my goals, and I would cheat on my diet, and I wouldn't want to work out because I was hungover. Or even if I did work out, my workouts would be shit and terrible. It messed me up. So it backtracked my progress, you know? And that made me fucking upset. That would make me upset because I'll do it every weekend, weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend, still unhappy with myself because I couldn't get to my goals. And then I found myself going into this small little cycle of depression of like, I'm making no progress. I'm making no progress. Why am I making no progress? You know, that I'm sad. Now I'm sad because now I'm gonna go drink even more. So you kind of like start to crave instant gratification even more. And that's how you can really start to go in that depression, because not only are you not being true to yourself and being the person who you want to be, which is improving and becoming the best at fucking everything like I want to be. That's what I believe in, at least. Those are my goals. Not only are you not being your authentic self and staying away from that, but now you're falling into this cycle of drinking and bad habits, and that's only making you feel more and more like shit. And I believe that's how people end up in a deep, deep depression, hating their fucking lives because they never owned up to who they truly want to be, and they let someone else persuade them into thinking that balance is key. Balance is bullshit. And a lot of people aren't going to understand you because a lot of people don't understand me. They're always trying to tell me that I need to relax and that I'm sad for some reason. They believe that I'm sad. And even if it looks like that on the outside, the fact that I'm constantly working towards my goals brings me true happiness. Like I find joy and happiness knowing that I'm chasing my goals, you know, and that I'm getting one step closer to my goal. That right there is what gives me that rush of dopamine where I'm fucking getting goosebumps in the car because I can imagine myself, I can imagine the success that's coming to my life soon. A lot of people get that same dopamine rush when it comes to raves or, you know, I don't know, fucking going to Disneyland or, you know, getting blackout drunk. That's when they get that rush of dopamine, you know. I get my rush of dopamine when the other day actually, I was in the car and I was just sitting in the car and there was a good song on. It was like a rock metal song, and I was thinking, I was like, damn, I know I'm close to success. Everything that I ever want, I know I'm super close to it. And all of a sudden I just start getting goosebumps, and then all of a sudden I start feeling emotional. Like I don't cry. Like I don't do that. I can be super sad. Sometimes I've tried to make myself cry because I don't cry, and I feel like that's unhealthy to do. It gets that bad. But the only time I've gotten super, super emotional was when I could taste success and I know that I'm getting closer and closer to my goals. That's the only time I got that super crazy dopamine rush. I'm getting emotional, I'm getting all these goosebumps, and I feel the surge of confidence, the surge of winning. That shit is a fucking drug. And not only is that a drug, and it lasts a lifetime. It's not like drinking alcohol where you drink and then 30 minutes later you feel like shit, so you have to drink more and more and more and more and more until you're blackout drunk and you feel like shit the next couple days or something. You know, this is true internal happiness. But a lot of people won't get that because they think that, like, for some reason I'm depressed or some shit. Balance isn't key. If people are telling you that balance isn't key, you need to fucking either just stop listening to them and be okay with what you want in life and start chasing it, or cut them out of your life completely. One or the other. I don't think you have to cut people out unless it's ruining your goals and ruining you from becoming the person you want to be in life. At the end of the day, we only have one life to live, and if we aren't getting out of life what we want, then it's kind of like why are you giving that to someone else? Like why are you letting someone else interrupt that? You know, we only have one life, you know? When you really start to love this self-improvement life and start to chase the goals you want, again, whether that's fitness, whatever that is for you, when you really start chasing it, you also learn to be okay with your failures. You also learn along the way that your failures are just a way of you getting one step closer to success. You start viewing failures as a way to learn from those mistakes and you know, actually just make better decisions and get to your goal faster. the biggest problem I see with people is they let other people get in the way of their goals. And this comes in the shape of, like, again, friends, family, but another one is like girlfriends. I've met so many people who start to do good for themselves. You know, they're starting to get in crazy shape. They're looking amazing. I can tell their mindset is just getting stronger and stronger. They're ambitious. They're disciplined. And then all of a sudden, they start talking to a girl. They stop showing up to the gym little by little. They start going to that famous chicken spot or Panda Express or some burger joint, you know, every single day. And then after some time, they start gaining a lot of weight. And then all of a sudden, boom, like everything that they once worked for goes out the window. And I know that that's truly what they want, because when they're single, that's the first thing that they go for. But when they get in a relationship, because they're so tied to just feeling some kind of happiness or getting some kind of external happiness from someone else to make them happy, you know, it all goes down the drain and they forget about it. Why? Because they depend their happiness on the other person. In this case, it's a girlfriend, on the girl. You know, they just start focusing on the happiness from that instead of continuing to work on themselves and improve themselves. Or, you know, maybe they just didn't want to do that at all. Maybe they just chose to self-improve because they wanted a girlfriend so that way they can feel happy again. But you know what's crazy is the girlfriend always ends up leaving the guy when they start to slack off a little bit. Like once they start slacking off a little bit, even though the girlfriend tries to convince you to slack off with her by eating some certain type of food, by going out, by drinking, by doing, even though the girlfriend tries to convince you with doing these things, the fact that you allow it and you kind of follow into her frame, you know, you fall into her and whatever she wants to do, she loses all respect for you, and then she breaks up with you, and then it starts to cycle all over again. Balance is bullshit. If you have these goals for some reason, you cannot let some girl get in the way of you not chasing those goals. Because at the end of the day, if you do, she's not going to respect you. And that can come in multiple different ways. It doesn't mean she necessarily cheats on you, but she's not going to respect you. So maybe she'll start twerking on her Instagram, or maybe she'll start, I don't know, even hanging out with her boy best friend that you can't fucking stand, but you'll be okay with that because you lost all ambition and self-respect for yourself because you get all of your happiness from her. It's crazy, but I see it all the fucking time. All the fucking time. So, I mean, you gotta ask yourself, like, who are you? Like, what do you want from life? Do you want success? Do you want to have the best possible physique, the best possible... Look how I look in this fucking shirt, you know? Look how I look in this fucking shirt, bro. Do you want this? Do you want to dedicate your life to self-improvement, to improving yourself physically and mentally and getting smarter and learning how to problem solve and becoming faster in running, or, you know, get better at boxing and being the strongest guy? Like, is that what you want? If that is truly what you want, then you're gonna have to really think internally and think to yourself and really understand the reason why you want that in the first place. Because if you don't figure that out, and if you don't figure out what's driving you to push forward and why you want that from life, then you're going to, the first moment someone offers you a beer, the first moment someone offers you some drugs, or you get a girlfriend, you're gonna fall off and you're gonna fucking stop being consistent with the gym, you're gonna stop eating correctly, and you're gonna give all your happiness away to these other people if you don't figure out what's pushing you forward. One of the biggest things that pushes me forward to continually keep going, at least when I first started, for the first 8-9 years I've been doing this, has been huge insecurities. I had the biggest fucking insecurities. And I'm telling you this because I want you to understand what pushes me, so that way you can figure out what's pushing you for, and why do you want this out of your life, you know? So I had the biggest insecurities. Not only was I insecure, but I had a bunch of self-doubt and limiting beliefs for myself, and I fucking felt weak and helpless. Growing up, there was a bunch of times when I was a child when I just felt super helpless. helpless, weak, and you know, when you feel like that and you stand up anyways and you lose, you know, you lose to whatever you're going after, and you constantly keep losing, it builds up those insecurities and you start having those limiting beliefs. Yeah, I have the courage to stand up again and get back up, but you get pushed down. So then you start doubting yourself. So for 9 years, 8-9 years, I dealt with just those insecurities. And the way that I handled that kind of, I guess you could say trauma, if you want. Everyone has their own traumas. You know, every single person in this world has their own traumas. That's what pushed me so hard, because since I felt so weak and so helpless, I wanted to become stronger. I wanted to look bigger. I wanted to become faster. I wanted to be able just to not feel so weak. So I tried to outwork, work harder, get bigger, get faster, get stronger. I was so insecure to the point where I didn't want nobody to be better than me at anything. It didn't matter what the fuck it was. They can be a fucking professional video game player. If they beat me, fuck. Insecurities. If someone's a track star D1, he's been running for 10 years and I've been lifting for 10 years, I might be stronger. That might be his field, but he beat me in a race. Fuck. Insecurities. You know? But then best believe that next day when he beat me in the race, after my 10-hour shift, 3 in the fucking morning, feeling demotivated, no energy, I was outside in my front yard doing sprints back to back to back to back. And then I would strategically have a way of getting faster. I would look up YouTube videos, how to get faster, what's the best way to take off in a sprint? How do you create longer strides in your sprint? How do you not get gassed out in a sprint? And I would start applying them and make a full-on week, day by day plan to get faster. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just because I lost that one race. And it's like, damn, bro, damn. That's fucking determination, you know, that's ambitious right there. So that's what you have to find, you know. You have to find what's pushing you to want this out of life and self-improve. Like, you want it so bad, you need to figure out what's gonna push you. That's what pushed me for the longest fucking time. And by using those negative emotions and really feeling those negative emotions, it's gonna allow you to push yourself past exertion, past complete exhaustion, and you're gonna get results that you can't even fucking believe. You might be disciplined at the gym right now as we speak. You know, you might be going to the gym every single day, but I bet the reason you're not getting results is because you're not pushing yourself inside the fucking gym. And it's solely due to the fact that you don't understand why you want it so bad. That's what people don't understand. You don't know why you want it so bad. Why are you in the gym every day? Why are you trying to eat that fucking chicken breast every single day? It tastes like shit. You could be having a pizza, enjoying, you know, your meals, but instead you are fucking eating a chicken breast. There is a reason why you want that. And it's not just because you want a great physique. There's a deeper underlying reason why you want that. A deep understand. You have to have a deep understanding of why you want it. It's not because you want a better physique. It is because you want a better physique, but it's all about what that physique brings you. Is that more confidence? Were you never loved as a child, so now you want a fucking girlfriend? Is that also the reason why when you self-improve yourself to the point where you can actually get a girlfriend, that you fall off? You know, and then you lose your girlfriend. You know, you have to find these deeper underlying. Is it because you were fat your whole life? You know, and kids used to bully you all the time, so it made you feel weak and hopeless. You know, helpless, weak and helpless. And is that the reason why you push so hard in the gym? But the thing is people, one, don't understand to a deep understand. People don't have a deep level of understanding of why they want something so bad. It's just more like surface level shit. I want to get bigger. Why, bro? Why? A quick little exercise you can do tonight, actually. You should do this fucking tonight. Do this shit tonight. If you want to really find out that deeper understanding of why you want it so bad, is you have to ask yourself a series of whys at nighttime. So you want to say, let me show you an example. So if I'm in bed at night, I'm here, I'm crossing my hands and I'm sitting to myself and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why do I want to be shredded? And then I say the answer, well, it's because I want to gain confidence. And then you have to ask yourself another question. Why? Why do you want confidence? Well, it's because I want a girlfriend. Why do you want a girlfriend? Well, it's because I don't want to feel lonely. Why don't you want to feel lonely? Well, it's because if I feel like I don't find a wife and I'm living lonely my whole life, that'll cause a deep sadness in me. And I feel like the only way to live life, the only satisfaction I want from life is to have a loving girlfriend and to spend time with that one person and grow with each other. I feel like that's what life really is about. See, and then at that point you understand on a deeper level what you actually want from life. Now, giving up all your happiness to that girl, I mean, that's another problem. You know, if you've experienced this, once you start losing respect for yourself because you start losing that ambition and confidence and all that shit that you used to have when you were single, she leaves your ass. So if that's happening to you, you need to figure out that problem. And, you know, it really just comes with, you know, staying on track with what you want to do and what you want to be, staying on track with the self-improvement stuff, and then she'll just always respect you and you won't have to deal with the disrespect and all that shit. But anyways, find out on a deeper level. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what that insecurity, what that deeper reason for wanting to self-improve and get a better physique, what kind of pain that sparks inside of you. So, whether you're doing it because you feel weak, or helpless, or lonely, or insecurity on a deep level, it's all pain. It's all pain. And it's also that pain that's going to motivate you to exert yourself past exhaustion. But what a lot of people do is they'll relieve that pain and then they forget about all their goals. And then it starts that cycle of never improving and always failing again. So, like, for example, let's say you feel upset. You know, you feel upset because you feel fat and you're having a double chin, you know, and your friends keep scooping your titties like this, scoop, 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 grabbing your titties, trying to suck on them because you're going to get milk from them because you have, you know, breasts, you know, and that makes you feel sad. Now, there's two things you can do. You can either use that motivation and hold on to that pain because that's the pain required to push past exertion when you're working out. You know, you're thinking about it. You're working out hard as hell. I don't want to be fucking fat. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. It gives you so much energy and so much motivation. It just has you having unlimited fucking non-stop potential when you keep that pain in the forefront of your brain. But there's most people, 99.99999 fucking percent of the population is gonna find the first thing that's gonna make them happen, that's gonna make them happy, that's gonna make them forget about that motivational pain inside of them. So they'll start to feel that pain, and then all of a sudden when they start to feel that pain, they'll be like, oh fuck, I'm hungry for some reason. I'm fucking starving for some reason. What the fuck? I was just in pain, but now I'm fucking hungry as shit. So they go and eat and binge out, and I'm happy. Woo! Let's go play some video games. Let's go out or something. And then you forget about that pain. Or let's say you're chilling, you're fucking sad as shit, and then you're gonna tell yourself, fuck, this is stressful. I need to go smoke a fucking joint. I need to go smoke a fucking blunt. Let me take this edible. And then boom, you take it and then you're fucking happy and you're ecstatic. But low key in the back of your mind, you're like, oh fuck, I need to do something about this. Instead of actually doing what you need to do to self fucking improve. It's crazy. It's crazy. Balance isn't key. If this is a life you want to live, balance isn't key. This is the shit that makes me fucking happy. It's only when you accept that this is the life that you want, because, you know, whether you believe in this kind of stuff or not, there is like that internal inkling feeling that you have, that you're attracted to something specific. You know, some people that might be like boxing. For some reason, boxing just is in their soul. For some people that just might be getting the best physique possible in bodybuilding and stuff like that. For some people that might be building the best fucking, I don't know, product on the market and becoming a billionaire. You know, we all have these internal feelings that we want to chase, that we're just attracted to. We're just naturally drawn towards, you know. And you're disregarding them. You're disregarding them, and again, listening to the people who want balance for you, who care for you. Let's be honest, people probably care for you. They have good intentions, but that's not you. And it's only once you accept the person that the universe, God, is trying to tell you to become, it's only when you accept that, when you're actually going to be fully fucking happy with yourself. You know what's crazy? When I started to work out, I started working out in my fucking garage, and I would push myself like fucking crazy as hell. I watched a lot of anime when I was younger, and when you're weak and helpless, that's the feelings that you deal with, and you're watching anime, it's like amazing because you see these characters, they're down and they're losing, they're hopeless or weak, and all of a sudden they power up and then beat the enemy. So watching that shit gave me such motivation to work out hard in the gym. It didn't matter how tired I was, how demotivated I felt, how low energy I felt. Once I got into the rhythm of things, I was fucking going crazy. Boom, 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 boom. Bench pressing, push-ups, boom, 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 boom. 1,000 sit-ups. I'm not fucking playing 1,000 fucking sit-ups. I used to watch a character who would do 1,000 push-ups, so you best believe I'm copying him because I looked up to him because I was motivated by that, and I started doing 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 sit-ups. Crazy. True story though. But this is what I'm trying to get to. I started working out at the house, and then I started working out at the gym, and I started realizing, I was looking around, I was like, holy shit, people don't work out like I work out. People are in the gym kind of doing some bullshit ass, let me show you. People are in the gym doing some bullshit ass. 1, 2, 3. And I'm over here thinking, what the fuck? What the fuck? I don't even work out like that on my worst, lowest energy, lowest motivational days. I'm 200 times better than them on my worst days, and that's how they're working out? Fucking no wonder you get no results, bro. You're not working out hard enough. This is what I used to think. And what's crazy, this is the point I'm trying to make, is I found myself, because other people weren't working out the way that I was working out, nobody was, I felt left out, and I felt like I was the odd one, and I would try to like limit myself a little bit because I would feel judged. Bro, when you're in the gym and you're cranking out 100 pull-ups, you know how many people look at you and they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know, what the fuck? And then you feeling judged, you're kind of looking around, feeling anxious, so now you don't even look authentic yourself, and then people judge you. And it's crazy because once I went from, you know, so what I was trying to say is, I lowered the way I worked out, the intensity I worked out. I slowed it down to fit in with everybody else. And that just made me... my camera died. But what I was saying is working out slow like that, it just made me depressed. And it was only until I accepted who I was and what I was trying to do, which was improve to the point just to have the ultimate unlimited physique. Like that's what I wanted. I wanted to be the best of the best. I understood, no, I need to keep training in the way that I'm training and fucking own that shit. And once I started owning that shit, all of a sudden the people who were judging me, it turned from judgment into respect. Because once you own the kind of life that you want to live and you have 100% certainty that's what you want to live by, that's who you are as a person, and it shows in the way you are doing the workouts. People can sense these things off of you. The judgment turned into respect, and then I had people coming up to me, holy shit, bro, you fucking crazy. Holy shit, bro, chill, bro. My girl's down there, you know? Chill, bro. And then they're like saying, oh, how can I get like that, bro? Like, man, I've been seeing you work out. It's so crazy, bro. It's so motivating. Like, it turns from judgment to respect. But you gotta own that shit. And that only happens when you actually accept that this is the kind of life that you wanna live. But you're not living it. You're living in someone else's kind of life. They want the raves. They want the drinking every single weekend. Live your life, you know? How successful do you want to be? You know? Again, summarize it all up. I know I just fucking was going on a fucking rant, but I'm really passionate about this stuff because this is who I am as a person, and I'm trying to find people who are like-minded like me, who is always constantly motivated by David Goggins, always constantly motivated by Andrew Tate, you know, and shit like that. We all have the similar mindsets. And it's deeply rooted and embedded into our brains for a reason, whether from God, the universe, whatever you believe in. It's there. Summarize it all up. If this is the person that you are, in order to get to this point, number one, you have to figure out your why. On a deeper you have to find a deeper understanding of why you want to do this. Number two, you have to always keep that pain in the forefront of your brain, because that's what's going to have you ambitious enough to put in all that effort and get to your goal. And then there's one more thing I had. Number three, I would say, is you know, think deep about if this is the kind of life that you want to live. Because if this is just like a one-time thing, you know, you just feel motivated for the moment, or I don't know, but you have to know for sure that this is your thing. That's what you have to do. You have to know for sure this is your thing, and that takes you actually internalizing it and going into your own brain and thinking about why you want it, and you'll come up with some answers. A lot of us go on TikTok, maybe listen to music, are always keeping our brains distracted by something. And that really prevents us from really figuring out from who we are as a person. And I understand because I used to do the same thing. And it wasn't until I really quit out the TikTok, the Netflix shows, all that shit. I still watch them. But in order to understand who I am as a person and what I want from life, you have to sit there by yourself and internalize what you want from life. So do those 3 things. And yeah, you're gonna find that you're gonna have so much more motivation and be tempted so much less, and really be just happier and more fulfilled because you're chasing the one thing that you want out of life. And for me, that's a great physique, you know? For me, I want to be looking fucking the best motherfucker at the beach. You know, I used to grow up watching those movies and seeing those jocks and the cool kids. Bro, motherfucker, that's what I want to be. You know, that's how I envision my life. And now I got the white tank top on and I'm filling out the arm sleeves and, you know, my chest is sticking out of the shirt. Like, I feel fucking great, bro. Like, it takes time to get there, though. And through all the shit that I've been through, that I was telling you about in the story, to get over that, it takes a lot of self-improvement. But that's what I love, because once you finally get there, you feel fucking great. That's it. If you guys are looking for like one-on-one coaching to improve your physique, your health, your performance, your speed, your explosive power, you want to become a fucking beast, click the link below. That's my one-on-one coaching link. You can apply for it. So just, if you qualify, we'll set up a call and we'll go from there. But I hope this helped you figure out what you want to do. Yeah.